Hey, this is Mama Beth, and welcome to Bitchin' in the Kitchen. If this is your first time here, please hit the sub button below, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and give me a thumbs up on this. This is an important topic, and, you know, I'm putting it on Bitchin' in the Kitchen instead of my regular channel, MamaBethsWorld, because I'm upset, I'm angry, and I hope by speaking out on this, some things will change. Over the last, I'd say, since before Christmas, there have been a lot of people coming online and making streams or making videos and putting them up. And they're talking about depression, bullying getting to them, you know, that they've been bullied by members of the community. You know, I belong to a community of a lot of different channels who we all watch each other, we're friends, we support each other. But there's been a lot of bullying going on. And when I say bullying, I'm not just talking about picking back and forth. I'm talking about hurting people with your words. I'm talking about continual harassment. And if you're being bullied, you know who you are. And if you're harassing someone and bullying someone, you know who you are too. There is no excuse for it. To drive someone into such a state takes a lot of work. It's not a one-time thing. I know myself, I've been harassed online by someone, and you know, it took a toll on me. Thank God I had support in my real life friends, husband, family, all of that to keep me up. But not everybody has a good support system at home. Oftentimes, their online socialization is the only socialization they get. They may be agoraphobic. They may be at home all the time. They may be disabled. You know, they may be mentally ill and just unable to get out and make friends. So online is the only way they make friends and get support. So when I see people that I know are suffering, making videos saying, I just want to die, I want to kill myself, that concerns me, and it should not be taken lightly. If you or anyone you know is thinking about harming themselves, killing themselves, or they're talking about death all the time, as if it were a relief, or, you know, if they're planning their death, or they're saying at my funeral, I want this. There are all sorts of ways that people who are truly suicidal or have suicidal ideations reach out. It's subtle hints, usually, okay? The National Suicide Prevention Hotline is a 24/7 hotline. You can talk to someone. They will get you help. If you are feeling depressed, suicidal, feeling like hurting yourself, feeling like, you know, you don't want to be here anymore, the number's there. 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. And I'm going to put that number below. And I hope that you all share this video. I'm going to tell a couple of stories, personal stories. And I hope that you all watching will understand why this is so concerning to me. Not just as a therapist, but as a human being. I unfortunately, when I was 12, had a friend of mine commit suicide. She was 12 years old. She'd gotten herself into a situation. I don't want to go into it, but it was private, and I only knew because my mother ran the hospital. She was, you know, over the hospital, and when my friend was brought in, she was privy to all the details, and she told me. That was before HIPAA, but she told me to hopefully teach me a lesson and, you know, tell me how serious it was and what the cause was. Maybe she wanted me to have a little ease in my mind, because I was, like all my friends, we were bawling. I mean, when she did it at about 11 o'clock at night, she put a .357 Magnum to the back of her head, behind her ear. And she shot herself, and she didn't die immediately. Oh no, she was in massive pain. Her parents were upstairs asleep. She had told them she was doing her homework. And they, of course, hear the gunshot and they come running down. And she had used her father's gun, but she could have just as easily slit her wrists with a knife or a razor. I mean, there are more ways than you can think of to kill yourself. The point is, her parents had no clue, no indications. The day before, that day at school, she was fine. You know, we were laughing. I think I argued with her a little bit in the bathroom over something silly, but we were friends. You know, friends go back and forth, and, you know, we had all grown up together, the whole group of us. And to think that at 12 she thought that death was her only alternative is horrifying. And it didn't just affect all of her friends, but it affected her family, it affected the community. And back then they didn't bring in grief counselors and things like that. So we all pretty much suffered with it, and a lot of us still, you know, have a hard time talking about it. I do. And I wonder what she would have grown to look like, and, you know, if she looked like her sisters, or, you know, what she would have done for a living. And it's just heartbreaking. And it shouldn't have happened. We see people making the videos saying that they want to harm themselves. And you think, I'm sorry, that's my dogs. If you don't like dogs, then you're just going to have to get over it or watch another channel, because the dogs are always running around. Anyway, you know, I see people making videos saying that, you know, they're contemplating suicide. They're very depressed. There's been bullying going on, and there's been a lot of bullying happening in the community that I belong to. All the channels, we watch each other, and we're all friends. We're very supportive. But wellness checks have been called on people because we care, you know. But I see that, and then a wellness check happens, and then all of a sudden the person is okay. They're not depressed anymore. They got, you know, they got taken care of, you know, but they didn't end up going to the hospital. Or in one case, a woman that has been online, you know, telling everyone that if they didn't call her or text her, they were going to hurt themselves. And when the wellness check came, it turned out that she was fine, living with family. Everything was okay, and she was angry that the police had been called. But what, as viewers, are we supposed to do when we see this? A couple of years ago, a young girl, she was a teenager, she literally got the rope out online while streaming. I mean, she streamed the whole thing. She gets a rope out, she gets the ladder, she climbs up the ladder and hangs the rope over the tree branch. All of this while live streaming, on Facebook. And I don't know how many people watched as she, you know, put the noose around her neck, tied it around her neck. It wasn't like a formal noose. Unfortunately, I saw the video afterwards. But nobody called a wellness check. If somebody had called the police when this started, you know, everybody was laughing and saying, do it, do it. You know, like it was some kind of a circus show or a crazy act. But she was serious. Somebody should have called the police and her parents. There were people watching, kids watching, who knew her. And they watched her die on live stream. And her parents had to see that. Her parents saw it afterwards. The police saw it. Everybody saw it. When I saw it, all I could do was cry. Because my daughter was about that same age. And, you know, I made sure I had a long talk with her about this, about suicide prevention and what to do if she ever felt that way. And what I'm saying is, talking about killing yourself is not a joke. It's not something to blackmail people with. It's not something to laugh about or even hint about. Because if you do, a wellness check should be made. Your family should be called. Because your life is worth more than just an online channel, a YouTube channel, or an Instagram channel. There are too many people that die every year from suicide. They die by their own hands because nobody paid attention, nobody reached out, they didn't give any indications. You know, most of the time they don't. You know, in my experience, the ones who have killed themselves that I know, friends of mine who I've lost, we had no idea. I had a friend, I gotta take a sip of water, I apologize, or Gatorade. I was in my mid-30s, and we were in an AOL chat room, and I went to the same chat room all the time, just like, you know, you all go to we go now to everybody's live streams that we like and that we watch. But back then, you know, you went to the AOL chat room and you got to know people. And these people were friends. These people were real life friends. These people that I knew from the chat room, we all met up like once a year. And my friend Troy was my best friend, and he were really close. And they would watch movies together online. He was in the Pacific Northwest. I won't say where. But we knew him well. We talked every day. Hours. You know, I'd be working on something on the computer, doing things, but the computer was always logged into that chat room. And, you know, throughout the day, we would talk. For years, we had done this. Okay, this wasn't someone that I had just been talking to and been friends with for like a month. And we talked on the phone, we talked in private chats, all of us together. Well, he had an alcohol problem, we knew that, and he had a drug problem previously, and he dealt with depression. He'd lost his job, he was going low on money, we were offering to send him money because we were friends. You do that when you're friends. You know, when somebody's in a bind and you know it, you offer. And he wouldn't take it. He would never take anything from us. But the last nights that he was on, he was talking kind of crazy. And when I say crazy, I mean not like himself. He would get angry, and then he would be joking the next minute, and then he'd be cussing somebody out. And it just wasn't his normal behavior. And the drunker he got, because he was drinking a lot, the drunker he got, the worse his typing became. You couldn't understand it. It was incoherent. And all of us were calling him on his telephone. He wasn't answering the phone. But we were talking to him on the computer in the chat room, and I kept saying, answer the phone. I just want to talk to you. Come on, let's calm down, and, you know, it's not going to be bad forever. You know, we were all offering him a place to stay. He could have come and lived with me. He could have lived with my best friend. All of us were offering those things. He's like, no, I'm fine. I'm going to be fine. And then he said he was going to go lay down, but he was tired. Now, we had been up all night long. I had stayed up all night because he was scaring me, and he wouldn't answer his phone. And then he said he was going to lay down. I'm like, okay, he's going to sleep it off. It'll be all right. And that's what we all agreed after he left the chat room. We were like, okay, he'll be fine tomorrow. We'll talk to him tomorrow. Well, the next day came, and he was nowhere to be found. Still not answering his phone. Second day, never online, didn't answer his phone. I told my best friend, I said, I have a terrible feeling about this. I've had this feeling since he signed off that morning. I think I need to call the police. And I did on the morning of the third day, because she talked me out of it. She said, no, he'll be back. He'll be mad if you do that. You know, because we thought, you know, granted, he'd be upset that the police showed up at his door, even though we had good intentions. Just like the people who have called in wellness checks on those talking about suicide. The people that got angry. You know, we thought he would get angry, right? Third day, third morning, we hadn't heard from him. I said, I'm calling the police to do a wellness check. I can't stand this. I have to know if he's okay. They go to his apartment, and they had to get the landlord to open the door, and they found him in the bathroom. His watch was laid out on the sink. All of his pill bottles, because he was on different medications, were empty. All of them. And they had just been filled. They were all empty. And there he was, naked, on the floor of his own bathroom. He'd overdosed. And there are my dogs. Sorry. He had overdosed on his medications. And I don't know why they didn't make him throw up when he took them. Maybe he took them a little at a time, or I don't know. I don't even want to think about that part of it. I wish to God his body had rejected all that medication. I wish he'd thrown up and that he was still here today. But what I'm saying here is he had family. He had a lot of friends. And he was a wonderful, wonderful person. Yeah, he had an alcohol problem. Yeah, he had depression that he suffered with. He said it was just depression. It could have been bipolar disorder. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, we had no idea. All we knew was that he was drunk. But you know what? There were a lot of people in the chat room who would drink too much and then type. You know, some went to rehab because we encouraged them. And my dogs are playing. But what I'm saying is, if you are depressed or upset, reach out. Reach out to someone. If you think that making a video is the only way that you can get someone to hear you, then make the video. But there are better things that you can do, because your video may encourage someone else to hurt themselves. There are a lot of people to call. Put a DM. DM me. My DMs are always open. MamaBethsWorld on Twitter. DM me. I'll get you help. Call a friend. Text a friend. Do whatever it takes to get in touch with someone. Or call 911 yourself, or call the suicide hotline. Once again, that's 1-800-273-TALK. And TALK is 8255. 1-800-273-TALK. That's all it takes, is making a phone call. Now, this is what I'm going to bitch about. If someone does reach out, whether you think they're just faking it or they just want attention or whatever, shut your mouth. Shut up. Suicide is nothing to laugh about or joke about, and if someone is upset enough to make a video about it, then who are you to say that they aren't serious? You know, I've seen some extreme cruelty happening over the last few days. Merlet, come here, baby. I've seen a lot of people saying some horrible things. People are cruel behind a computer. Cruel. One lady who made a video, and thank God a wellness check was called and she was okay. But after that, people were making fun of her. People were saying, oh, she was just doing it for attention. She just wanted attention, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you know what? When you're suicidal, you need attention. Okay? She needed that attention. She's still here. And the people who are making fun of her are also saying, oh, so-and-so shouldn't have called a wellness check on her. There was nothing wrong. Or there was another incident where a big fight was going on between one channel and a young woman. I don't know exactly how old she is. I think she's about 30 or so. But anyway, and her mother was on there, and it was escalating so much that the younger girl was in a dither. And she has mental problems, you know, like many do. You know, she's not the only one in the world. She also has PTSD. And she was so agitated that one of the people in our circle, thank God, called a wellness check. We tried to call a wellness check, and then she went so far as to get in touch with the police to get the stream shut down. You know what? That stream got shut down on that channel. And you know who you are. You in the porch. Y'all got that stream shut down by YouTube and the police. They said shut it off. And you did. And then when another channel uploaded it, which I don't know why, it shouldn't have been uploaded, but YouTube had it struck for bullying. Now, that says something, doesn't it? If the original live stream were the younger woman, and I'm trying really hard not to name names, if it was so bad that the girl, if you were harassing her so much that she was going into, you know, suicidal ideations, or, you know, she's pacing back and forth and she's screaming and she's in hysterics and people watching are afraid for her, then maybe you need to change your behavior. Maybe you need to look at yourself and what you did to get this young woman, who everyone knows is normally sweet and kind. She has problems. I think it was from a bad surgery, but anyway, she does have emotional problems. And people picking on her and harassing her, and her mother on there trying to stop. There were mistakes made all around on that situation. The mother should have gotten the daughter to shut it off forcibly. I mean, if my daughter was behaving like that, and my daughter's 27, if she was behaving like that and was so upset by something online, by God, I'd jerk the router. I'd make it stop that way if I had to. That was one mistake. The mother should have taken charge. And she's a good mom. You know, I just think she didn't think quick enough in that situation. And the people who were doing the harassing on the porch, shame on you. And then making fun and lying like you have, that shows you're some really shitty people. I guess that's why your channel's named Shoot the Shit. Now, I think we all need to take a step back. Stop being so hateful to one another. Stop harassing one another. You know, I get in live streams and I say things, but I'm not trying to say anything that's going to make someone so upset that they're going to kill themselves or need help. I don't do that. I'll laugh and joke and tease, but if I thought it was going to really hurt someone's feelings, I wouldn't do it. And if I have ever said anything that would upset anyone that much, I apologize. Tell me who you are. Tell me what I said, and I'll be happy to apologize, because I never, ever want to make anyone feel like death is their only alternative. Let's straighten up. Let's start acting right. Let's stop being mean to each other. Stop the bullying. Stop the harassment. And once again, if you're depressed, if you're suicidal, if you're thinking about death, please, please reach out. Reach out to me. Reach out to a family member. Reach out to a friend. Reach out to the police. Call 911 or call the Suicide Prevention Hotline. Once again, it's 1-800-273-TALK. 1-800-273-8255. That's my bitching in the kitchen for today. Please. I love you. You love you. How about loving some other people too? Treat others as you want to be treated. And that's it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.